Ever felt like you're giving too much of yourself away, only to end up exhausted, frustrated, or feeling undervalued? Life's full of moments when we're tempted to bend and break for others, friends, family, relationships, work. But here's a question worth asking. Are there things you should never sacrifice for anyone? The Stoics, ancient masters of resilience and wisdom, would say yes. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and if you're constantly putting others first at the expense of your own well-being, it's all too easy to lose sight of who you truly are. In this journey, we'll uncover the core pillars of self-worth, clarity, and peace that Stoicism teaches us to hold sacred. Think of this as a reminder to reclaim the parts of yourself that are non-negotiable. So, stick around, hit subscribe if you're ready for a mindset reset, and let's dive into the Stoic secrets to protecting your most essential self. No sacrifice needed. Never sacrifice your inner peace. Inner peace is the silent sanctuary within each of us, but life's noise can often drown it out. The Stoics believed that a calm mind is foundational to everything else in life. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most insightful philosophers, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." What he meant is that our minds are quick to get tangled up in unnecessary worries, especially when we're constantly distracted by the demands and expectations of others. This lesson is all about protecting that space inside where we feel grounded, centered, and calm. Imagine this. Every time you sacrifice your peace for someone else's demands, opinions, or approval, it's as if you're handing over a piece of your mental clarity. In those moments, we might think we're being helpful or accommodating, but what we're really doing is letting go of our emotional stability. When we choose to prioritize someone else's stress over our peace, we enter a cycle of dependency, one where our emotional state is directly tied to others' moods or decisions. For the Stoics, letting that happen was a sure path to a life of constant turmoil, never truly in control. Maintaining your inner peace isn't about withdrawing from others or caring less. It's about recognizing your limits. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic giant, understood this well. He advised himself in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote speaks to the core of what inner peace is all about. When we focus on controlling what's within, our reactions, thoughts, and responses, we become resilient against the chaos of the outside world. Instead of allowing others to chip away at our peace, we learn to build a protective boundary that keeps us calm and collected, no matter what storms are swirling around. Protecting your peace starts with self-awareness. Notice the moments when you feel your mind slipping into worry or stress. Are these worries yours, or are they picked up from others? Is someone else's negativity seeping into your day? By recognizing where the stress is coming from, you take back a degree of control, deciding what energy you allow into your life and what you keep at a healthy distance. One practical approach to preserving peace is practicing mindfulness. Just as the Stoics spent time reflecting each morning and evening on their values, you too can spend a few minutes daily reconnecting with your calm center. Try keeping a journal to capture your thoughts, identifying any patterns where you feel most disturbed or when you're sacrificing your peace. This simple habit can help you catch yourself before you let external chaos disrupt your internal calm. Finally, remember that inner peace doesn't mean complacency. It's the power to act from a place of calm rather than reactivity. This is what the Stoics call ataraxia, or freedom from disturbance. When you guard your peace, you're able to make choices that align with your true self, not ones swayed by pressure or fear. Inner peace is your anchor, your safe haven. As life unfolds with all its twists and turns, don't hand over that sanctuary lightly. This is the foundation upon which every other aspect of well-being rests. So if you're going to protect anything fiercely, let it be your peace. No compromise, no sacrifice. Never sacrifice your self-respect. Self-respect is one of the most sacred and irreplaceable aspects of our being. The Stoics taught that our worth is rooted not in external validation, but in our inner values and principles. Epictetus, a former slave who became a respected philosopher, often emphasized the power of self-respect in building a resilient life. He taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. What he's saying here is profound. True growth and self-respect come from staying true to ourselves, even if it means being misunderstood or undervalued by others. Self-respect is the quiet foundation upon which our actions, decisions, and beliefs stand. It's about recognizing your own dignity and worth, regardless of how others may perceive you. And in today's world, where social media and societal expectations press on us constantly, holding on to self-respect can be challenging, but is essential. Too often, we're tempted to downplay our values or compromise our integrity just to fit in or gain approval. But when we start trading pieces of our self-respect for external acceptance, we lose something far more valuable, our authentic self. The Stoics understood this well and encouraged us to act according to our own values, even if it meant standing alone. Imagine you're in a situation where your beliefs or values are being challenged and there's pressure to compromise or change. Perhaps it's a workplace scenario, or maybe even in relationships where others expect you to act a certain way. In these moments, it can feel easier to give in, to say what others want to hear, or do what others expect. But every time we make such a sacrifice, we chip away at our own self-respect. In the short term, these sacrifices might seem small or insignificant, but over time, they erode our sense of self-worth and inner confidence. This compromise breeds a sense of frustration or dissatisfaction that can linger, sometimes without us even realizing why. Maintaining self-respect means cultivating a sense of courage and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, reminded himself daily to stay true to his principles and values. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, he wrote. This quote speaks to the heart of self-respect, knowing your values and standing by them without the need for others' validation or permission. The Stoic path is not about pleasing others or fitting into any mold. It's about cultivating inner strength by living a life aligned with your own beliefs. Practically, you can start by defining your personal values. Write down the principles that mean the most to you: honesty, kindness, integrity, loyalty, and use them as a compass in decision-making. When faced with situations where you're pressured to compromise, revisit this list. Remind yourself of what truly matters to you. Self-respect is about saying no when necessary, standing firm, and honoring your worth even when it's challenging. And when others see that you respect yourself, they're more likely to respect you as well. In a world full of opinions and expectations, self-respect is like armor. It allows us to navigate life's complexities without feeling diminished or controlled by external forces. So, let your self-respect be non-negotiable, a cornerstone of your life that empowers you to be your truest, most genuine self. Never sacrifice your integrity. Integrity is the glue that binds our actions to our values, making sure we're not just talking the talk, but walking it as well. To the Stoics, integrity was a non-negotiable aspect of a meaningful life. It was about living truthfully and aligning one's actions with one's principles, no matter the circumstances. Epictetus taught that character is long-standing habit, meaning that true integrity isn't about occasional grand gestures, but about consistently acting in ways that reflect our values. When we compromise our integrity, we not only betray our values, but also weaken our sense of self-worth and purpose. Integrity is essential for self-respect, self-worth, and inner peace. It's the moral compass that keeps us grounded in honesty, reliability, and authenticity. In today's world, with its intense pressures to succeed, please others, or reach high social standings, staying true to one's principles can be a challenge. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily in meditations to remain uncorrupted by external pressures, even as a Roman emperor surrounded by constant temptation. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple but profound guidance shows the value he placed on living honestly and ethically, no matter how easy it might have been to bend the truth to his favor. For the Stoics, integrity was a core part of living virtuously, being able to look yourself in the mirror without feeling the weight of compromises. Integrity isn't about being perfect, it's about striving to do the right thing, even when no one else is watching. It's knowing that your actions reflect your principles and that you can be proud of the choices you make. By keeping your integrity intact, you build a foundation of self-trust, and you carry the kind of inner strength that will guide you through any challenges life may throw your way. So, let integrity be your constant guide, a standard you hold yourself to without compromise, because in the end, it's what shapes your character and defines your legacy. Never sacrifice your independence. Independence, both in thought and action, is essential for a fulfilling and meaningful life. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to think, act, and make choices aligned with our values, without being enslaved by the opinions or control of others. Epictetus emphasized the importance of independence, famously stating, "No man is free who is not master of himself." For the Stoics, independence wasn't just about physical freedom, but about maintaining mental autonomy. Sacrificing your independence means losing the ability to make choices based on what you believe and desire. It's letting someone else's preferences dictate your life. At its core, independence is about self-reliance and trusting in your capacity to navigate life's challenges. This doesn't mean we isolate ourselves or ignore the perspectives of others, but that we maintain a clear sense of who we are, separate from others' expectations or opinions. The Stoics taught that every individual has the potential for wisdom, and to exercise this wisdom, one must learn to trust their judgment and make decisions that reflect their principles. When we let others control our choices or beliefs, we're not only betraying ourselves, but also missing out on the deep sense of freedom that comes from living a self-directed life. Consider situations where we feel pressured to please others, whether it's by conforming to social norms, saying yes to things we don't want to do, or pursuing goals that aren't really ours. It might feel easier to comply than to assert our independence, especially if it involves disappointing someone or risking disapproval. But each time we choose to bend, we're giving away a piece of our autonomy. Imagine yourself as a ship on the sea. Independence is your anchor, your guiding force that keeps you on course. Without it, we're like a ship adrift, blown by any current or wave that comes along. When we sacrifice independence, we lose control over our life's direction, and we risk becoming dependent on others for validation, happiness, or even self-worth. Maintaining independence requires resilience, especially when faced with societal or relational pressures. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This means respecting the independence of others while maintaining your own boundaries. Marcus understood that real strength lies in being able to listen to others, but still standing firm in your principles, unshaken by external forces. It's a reminder that independence isn't isolation. It's a healthy respect for both oneself and others. To cultivate independence, start by recognizing areas where you might be sacrificing it. Are there decisions you're making just to avoid confrontation or because they align with someone else's preferences? Once you notice these patterns, practice small acts of independence. Speak up when you disagree, respectfully decline obligations that don't serve you, and pursue activities and goals that genuinely reflect your interests. Developing independence is like building a muscle. It grows stronger with use. Independence is the freedom to chart your own course, to live by your own values, and to make choices that fulfill your purpose. By preserving your independence, you're not just maintaining control over your life. You're nurturing a sense of confidence and self-respect that no one else can provide. In the end, a life lived with independence is one where you can look back and know that every decision, every direction was taken freely, with intention and purpose. Embrace your independence as a core part of who you are, and let it guide you toward a life of true personal freedom. Never sacrifice your authenticity. Authenticity is one of the most powerful yet fragile aspects of who we are. The Stoics believed that living in alignment with our true nature, our authentic self, was central to a fulfilling and virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius encouraged this when he said, "Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter." For the Stoics, living authentically wasn't about trying to fit into others' expectations or presenting a polished version of oneself to gain approval. Instead, it meant staying true to one's inner values, personality, and purpose. When we sacrifice authenticity, we lose a sense of ourselves, making us feel disconnected, empty, and, ultimately, unfulfilled. Being authentic requires courage, especially in a world where social pressures can be overwhelming. From social media portrayals to societal standards of success, there's a constant push to mold ourselves into a version that's palatable to others or worthy of admiration. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that the only person we need to impress is ourselves. Epictetus wisely noted, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." When we embrace our true selves, we're not only more content, but we also become more resilient to outside judgment. When we chase someone else's idea of success, beauty, or happiness, we're no longer living our own lives. We're playing a role, one that ultimately exhausts us and distances us from genuine fulfillment. Imagine situations where you feel compelled to hide your quirks, stifle your passions, or downplay your beliefs just to fit in. Perhaps it's at work, with friends, or even with family. We often feel that conforming will lead to acceptance and belonging, but the irony is that losing touch with who we truly are actually creates a deeper sense of isolation. The more we hide or alter our authentic self, the more we feel like strangers in our own lives. Authenticity, on the other hand, allows us to build connections based on real understanding and mutual respect. When we show up as ourselves, we attract people who accept and value us for who we are, not for who we pretend to be. Authenticity also empowers us to make choices that align with our core values and interests. This means pursuing careers, hobbies, and relationships that reflect our true nature. Living inauthentically often leads to dissatisfaction, no matter how successful we may appear to the outside world. As Marcus Aurelius advised himself, to live a good life, we have the potential for it, if we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Authenticity helps us recognize what truly matters to us, allowing us to disregard what doesn't. To practice authenticity, start by identifying moments when you feel pressured to conform. What values or aspects of yourself are you hiding? Make a commitment to bring more of your true self into your daily interactions. This could mean voicing an unpopular opinion, embracing a unique interest, or dressing in a way that reflects who you are. Authenticity is a muscle that strengthens with practice, and each time you choose to be genuine, you reinforce your commitment to living an honest and fulfilling life. By holding on to your authenticity, you live a life that reflects who you truly are, not a version created to please others. Authenticity doesn't just make life more meaningful, it makes it yours. Embrace who you are fully, for this is the ultimate path to peace, resilience, and genuine happiness. Let authenticity guide your choices, and you'll find that the life you build will be one of deep satisfaction, joy, and true self-acceptance. Never sacrifice your purpose. Purpose is the underlying drive that gives meaning to our lives. For the Stoics, living with purpose was a fundamental principle. It was about knowing why you're here and using that knowledge as a guiding force in every decision. Purpose, as they saw it, was not just about having a career goal or ambition. It was about understanding and aligning with what you value most deeply and dedicating your actions to that mission. Epictetus advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, purpose begins with a clear vision of who you want to become, and it requires unwavering commitment to bring that vision to life. Sacrificing this inner mission for external rewards, approval, or fleeting desires can leave us feeling aimless and unfulfilled. Imagine for a moment the emptiness of living without a sense of purpose, of drifting from task to task, without any real connection to why you're doing what you do. Without a clear purpose, even success feels hollow. You might achieve what society calls success, yet still feel incomplete. Purpose, in Stoic philosophy, anchors us to our highest aspirations and values, giving us a North Star by which to navigate life's inevitable challenges. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, regularly reminded himself to stay focused on what he saw as his higher calling to serve and lead with wisdom and justice. He wrote in Meditations, "What we do now echoes in eternity." For Marcus, every action was an opportunity to live with purpose, a chance to contribute meaningfully to the world and stay true to his principles. This commitment is what gave his life depth and continuity. Living with purpose also means that you're willing to face discomfort, setbacks, and failures, all in the name of pursuing something meaningful. Too often, people sacrifice their purpose for temporary comfort or out of fear of judgment. Perhaps it's a career you're passionate about, but others advise you against because it doesn't promise financial security. Or maybe it's a personal mission that doesn't align with societal expectations. When we abandon these deeply held intentions, we're left with a void, a feeling of having strayed from our path. The Stoics remind us that true purpose requires courage, the courage to pursue it, no matter how others perceive it or how uncertain the path may be. To maintain purpose in your daily life, take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are the values, goals, or passions that, if pursued, would make your life feel deeply fulfilling? Identify them clearly and begin to incorporate actions that align with these aspirations, no matter how small. As Seneca advised, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Start now, embracing purpose in even the smallest actions, as these will compound into a life of significance and alignment with your true self. Purpose is your compass, guiding you to live not just productively, but meaningfully. By refusing to sacrifice your purpose, you protect what gives your life direction and richness. Hold fast to it, and you'll find that every moment gains a deeper resonance, every action a greater clarity. Purpose transforms life from mere existence into a journey filled with intention and fulfillment. Don't give up on it, and you'll live a life that's not only purposeful, but genuinely your own. Never sacrifice your time. Time is the most precious resource we have, yet it's often the one we give away most freely. To the Stoics, time was not just a measure of life, but the essence of it. Once spent, it's gone forever, and no wealth, power, or influence can buy even a single second back. Seneca famously said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." This profound statement reminds us that life isn't necessarily brief. It's how we choose to spend our time that determines its true length and quality. When we sacrifice our time for trivial matters or to satisfy others' demands at the expense of our own well-being, we're giving away pieces of our life that we can never reclaim. Time is unique because, unlike money or material possessions, it's something we all start with in equal measure every day. How we choose to allocate it shapes who we become and the life we create. Yet in today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy world, time often feels like it's slipping through our fingers. From excessive screen time, social media scrolling, and endless meetings to saying yes to obligations that don't serve us, we find ourselves pouring hours into things that don't genuinely fulfill or advance us. Imagine a day where every hour reflects something meaningful. Time spent with loved ones, working on personal passions, engaging in enriching activities, or simply resting and rejuvenating. This is a day well lived, but it requires saying no to the distractions and demands that threaten to pull us away. For the Stoics, saying no wasn't selfish, it was essential. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself in Meditations to avoid getting entangled in things that don't truly matter, writing, "Do not waste the remaining part of your life in thoughts about others, unless it subserves some benefit to them or to yourself." To the Stoics, time was about quality, not just quantity. To safeguard your time, start by clarifying your priorities. Make a list of the activities and commitments that genuinely add value to your life, and practice setting boundaries around everything else. Avoid the trap of thinking that busyness equates to productivity or success. In fact, Stoic wisdom encourages us to cultivate stillness, reflection, and focus. Embrace the art of single tasking rather than spreading your time thin across endless obligations. This allows you to engage deeply with whatever you're doing, rather than rushing through tasks without true presence or joy. In the end, refusing to sacrifice your time means valuing it as the foundation of everything else in life. By being intentional with your hours, you ensure that you're not only living but thriving, fully engaged in what matters most. Don't let your time slip away on things that don't truly fulfill you. Guard it fiercely, use it purposefully, and let each moment be a conscious step toward a life of greater depth, purpose, and joy. Never sacrifice your happiness. Happiness is often mistaken for a fleeting feeling, but to the Stoics, true happiness, or eudaimonia, is a state of inner fulfillment and well-being that comes from living in harmony with our values. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius believed that authentic happiness wasn't about external pleasures or the approval of others, but was rooted in a life led with integrity, purpose, and self-awareness. As Epictetus advised, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. In other words, happiness begins with a mindset, accepting what we cannot control and finding joy in what we can. Sacrificing this grounded happiness for the sake of pleasing others or fitting into societal molds robs us of our natural contentment and peace. Happiness is not found in constantly pursuing things outside ourselves, wealth, status, or social approval. These things, while sometimes enjoyable, are conditional and often temporary. They come and go with life's ups and downs. The Stoics taught that the truest happiness arises when we focus on our inner world and cultivate gratitude, resilience, and emotional stability. Too often, we sacrifice our happiness by striving for what society tells us will fulfill us, whether that's material success, social prestige, or the perfect lifestyle. Yet by placing our happiness in things outside of our control, we give away our power. True happiness, as the Stoics understood, comes from finding satisfaction within and living in alignment with one's principles, not in endlessly chasing external validation. Imagine the difference between a life focused on internal joy versus one endlessly chasing external rewards. In one life, you wake up content, grounded in your values and grateful for what you have. In the other, you're always thinking of the next goal, the next purchase, or the next achievement, never quite satisfied and constantly seeking more. The Stoics would argue that the first path leads to lasting happiness, while the second path leads to a life of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This Stoic wisdom encourages us to cultivate a mindset that finds joy in simplicity, mindfulness, and presence, rather than in an endless pursuit of more. To protect your happiness, practice tuning out the noise of societal expectations and focus on what genuinely fulfills you. Happiness doesn't mean that every day is easy or carefree, but it means cultivating a sense of joy and gratitude even in difficult times. The Stoics often practiced gratitude as a tool for happiness, reflecting each day on what they were thankful for and viewing each experience, positive or negative, as a chance to learn and grow. You too can incorporate gratitude by acknowledging small moments of joy or beauty in your day, rather than measuring happiness solely by grand achievements or milestones. In safeguarding your happiness, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. Happiness is found in each decision to choose joy, to let go of what doesn't serve you, and to find contentment in the present moment. By refusing to sacrifice your happiness, you protect a wellspring of strength and resilience that helps you face life with a positive spirit. Let happiness be your compass, guiding you to live fully and authentically. Protect it fiercely, knowing that when you prioritize true happiness, you create a life filled with peace, purpose, and profound satisfaction. Never sacrifice your health. Health is the foundation that supports every aspect of our lives. Yet it's often the first thing people overlook or sacrifice in the pursuit of success, wealth, or meeting others' demands. For the Stoics, physical and mental well-being were vital, as they recognized that without a healthy body and mind, even the noblest goals become harder to achieve. Epictetus taught that we should care for our physical form as a tool for living virtuously, saying, "You must take care of your body as if it were a faithful servant." In other words, health is not just a means to an end, but a vital asset that allows us to act in alignment with our values and fulfill our purpose. When we sacrifice our health, we limit our ability to live fully, both mentally and physically. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to trade sleep for work, skip meals to save time, or push ourselves to the point of exhaustion for the sake of productivity. However, the Stoics would argue that such sacrifices are counterproductive. Health is not just physical, but also mental. It's about balance and maintaining resilience. Sacrificing your health for temporary gains may lead to achievement, but it often comes at a steep price, affecting mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall happiness. Without good health, even the greatest successes can feel hollow. Stoic wisdom teaches us that neglecting self-care is a direct disservice to ourselves and to those who rely on us, as it undermines our strength, endurance, and capacity to live purposefully. Imagine building a life based on hard work, sacrifices, and achievements, only to realize you're too burnt out or sick to enjoy any of it. The Stoics understood this balance, urging us to pursue goals without compromising our well-being. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who carried an immense amount of responsibility, reminded himself of the need for moderation and self-care. In Meditations he wrote, "Our minds must remain undisturbed, and our bodies must be cared for with as much consistency as possible." This advice points to the Stoic belief in treating the body and mind as sacred, both of which require careful stewardship if we are to live meaningful lives. Health, after all, is what allows us to show up each day, face life's challenges, and pursue our highest aspirations. To protect your health, consider making it a priority over external achievements or social pressures. Set aside time each day for basic self-care. Nourishing meals, sufficient sleep, movement, and mindfulness. Recognize when your mind or body is signaling for rest, and honor those needs without guilt. Remember that caring for yourself is not a selfish act, but a necessary one, enabling you to be the best version of yourself for others as well. Practicing mindfulness, as the Stoics did, can also support mental health by helping you stay grounded and aware of your body's needs. In the end, your health is your greatest resource. By refusing to sacrifice it, you commit to living a life where you can be fully present, resilient, and capable. Health gives you the energy to pursue your purpose, the clarity to make wise decisions, and the strength to enjoy life's moments. Guard it as the invaluable asset it is, knowing that by investing in your health, you're investing in your ability to live a life of meaning, fulfillment, and true Stoic resilience. Never sacrifice your principles. Principles are the unshakable truths that define who we are and guide how we navigate the world. For the Stoics, principles were the bedrock of a virtuous and meaningful life, offering a moral compass that helped them remain true to themselves, even in the face of adversity. Without principles, life can become a series of compromises and reactive choices, often leading us far from the path of integrity and authenticity. Epictetus emphasized this when he said, "Know what you must do, focus on this, and ignore everything else." This guidance is about aligning our actions with our core beliefs and refusing to betray our values for convenience, approval, or short-term gain. To sacrifice our principles is to sacrifice the essence of who we are, leading to a life of regret and inner conflict. Principles represent the boundaries we set for ourselves, standards we won't lower, actions we won't take, and beliefs we refuse to compromise on. In a world where pressures to conform or please others are constant, staying true to one's principles requires courage and resilience. It's tempting to bend our standards to fit in, to make others comfortable, or to avoid conflict. But the Stoics warned that such sacrifices erode our sense of self and purpose. These may seem like minor compromises in the moment, but over time, they accumulate into a pattern of behavior that feels increasingly inauthentic and burdensome. Marcus Aurelius, who faced tremendous pressures as a Roman emperor, frequently reminded himself in Meditations to stay grounded in his principles. By holding on to their principles, the Stoics believed that individuals could achieve a sense of inner peace and moral clarity, free from the turmoil of regret or self-doubt. When we compromise our principles, however, we introduce tension into our lives, making it difficult to find lasting fulfillment or satisfaction. To avoid sacrificing your principles, take the time to identify what you truly stand for. These may be values like honesty, kindness, loyalty, or accountability. Write them down and reflect on them regularly, especially in moments of decision. The more clearly defined your principles are, the easier it becomes to make choices that honor them, even when it's difficult. Practicing Stoic reflection, as the ancient philosophers did, can also strengthen your resolve to act in alignment with these principles. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself if the action you're about to take respects your inner code. Refusing to sacrifice your principles is not about rigid perfectionism, but about living in harmony with who you genuinely are. Principles provide a steady anchor, grounding you through life's uncertainties and complexities. So hold tight to what you believe in, and let your principles be the foundation upon which you build a resilient, purpose-driven life. Never sacrifice your self-belief. Self-belief is the quiet, powerful force that sustains us through life's greatest challenges and uncertainties. For the Stoics, having confidence in oneself wasn't about blind optimism or arrogance. It was about cultivating a steady inner trust that we have the strength and resilience to face whatever comes our way. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to become one of the most respected philosophers of his time, famously advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This reminder urges us to hold fast to our inner vision of who we are and what we're capable of, regardless of outside opinions, failures, or obstacles. To sacrifice self-belief is to abandon the very foundation upon which all growth, resilience, and success are built. Self-belief doesn't mean thinking that we'll never make mistakes or encounter hardships. Rather, it's the conviction that we can persevere, learn, and improve no matter what. Stoic philosophy places great importance on self-awareness and growth, encouraging us to focus not on achieving perfection, but on steadily working toward our potential. Yet in today's competitive and judgment-heavy world, it's all too easy to let self-doubt creep in, to measure ourselves against others, and to question our own abilities. When we start sacrificing our self-belief, when we internalize others' doubts or let setbacks shake our confidence, we weaken our ability to act decisively and live courageously. The Stoics believed that losing self-belief made us vulnerable, allowing external circumstances to dictate our self-worth and direction. Imagine the difference between someone who holds firm to their self-belief and someone who is constantly swayed by others' opinions or life's ups and downs. The first person lives with an unshakable calm and inner drive, while the second is often filled with self-doubt, hesitation, and fear of judgment. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who faced continuous trials, reminded himself daily to rely on his own wisdom, writing, "The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting." This is a powerful Stoic idea. When we believe in ourselves, even challenges can become fuel for growth and self-improvement. To protect your self-belief, practice recognizing and challenging negative thoughts as they arise. Instead of letting failures or criticism undermine you, see them as learning experiences that strengthen your resilience and commitment to self-growth. Affirm your strengths and embrace your unique qualities. Take time to set personal goals that align with your own aspirations, rather than goals that are merely influenced by external expectations or comparisons. Each step you take toward these goals builds your confidence and reinforces your belief in your abilities. Maintaining self-belief is an act of self-respect and resilience. It reminds you that you are capable of navigating life's complexities, that you hold the power to shape your future, and that you are worthy of the opportunities ahead. When you refuse to sacrifice self-belief, you ground yourself in a sense of purpose and courage, empowering you to approach each day with confidence and determination. Hold on to this belief fiercely, and let it be the guiding light that leads you to a life filled with growth, fulfillment, and inner peace. Self-belief is the foundation of your journey. With it, you can overcome any obstacle and realize the fullest version of yourself. Never sacrifice your gratitude. Gratitude is the lens through which life's simplest joys and deepest connections come into focus, transforming even the most ordinary moments into sources of fulfillment and peace. For the Stoics, gratitude was more than a mere feeling. It was a practiced mindset and a fundamental part of their philosophy. They believed that cultivating gratitude allowed them to appreciate life fully, regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Think of what you have rather than what you lack. Of the things you have, select the best and reflect on how eagerly you would have sought them if you did not have them." This Stoic wisdom reveals that gratitude is not about what we possess materially, but about recognizing the inherent value in each experience, relationship, and lesson life brings. Sacrificing gratitude means giving up one of the greatest tools we have for a grounded and contented life, allowing discontent and resentment to fill the space gratitude leaves behind. In today's world, where there's constant pressure to achieve more, earn more, and be more, it's easy to lose sight of what we already have. We're often conditioned to look at what's missing, to measure ourselves by others' accomplishments, or to feel dissatisfied with our own progress. Yet the Stoics saw this tendency as a trap. They believed that gratitude kept them rooted in the present and immune to the unending cycle of comparison and envy. When we let go of gratitude, we invite a mindset that is constantly focused on what could be better or what we don't have. This creates a sense of lack, even in moments where we have plenty. The Stoics understood that a grateful mind is a contented mind, a mind that knows peace and sees the beauty in simplicity, even during life's challenges. Imagine a life without gratitude, where each day becomes a constant chase for more, never satisfied and always yearning. Such a life, the Stoics would argue, misses the true essence of fulfillment. Epictetus emphasized that we should not just appreciate our material possessions or successes, but also the strength and resilience we develop through hardships. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. To practice gratitude, even during difficulties, is to see each struggle as an opportunity to grow, each setback as a chance to learn. This perspective helps us build resilience and transform adversity into a source of wisdom. To safeguard your gratitude, begin each day with a simple reflection on what you are thankful for. Make it a habit to list, either mentally or in a journal, 3 things each day that brought you joy, comfort, or growth. When faced with challenges, pause and look for something to appreciate within the experience itself. You can find gratitude in small gestures from others, moments of calm, or even the lessons hidden in tough times. The Stoics practiced this daily, cultivating an inner resilience that wasn't swayed by fortune's ups and downs. Gratitude is a powerful anchor that keeps us steady, no matter what life throws our way. It turns ordinary moments into extraordinary memories and keeps us focused on what truly matters. By refusing to sacrifice gratitude, you open your life to a perspective that finds value and meaning in every experience. Let gratitude be your guide, reminding you that even in the pursuit of growth and achievement, there is so much to cherish here and now. When you embrace gratitude fully, you create a life marked by contentment, resilience, and a profound appreciation for the world as it is. And there you have it, 12 things that Stoic philosophy teaches us to hold sacred, no matter the pressures or challenges we face. Imagine living a life where your inner peace, purpose, and self-belief are non-negotiable. A life where you're not swayed by fleeting trends or others' opinions, but grounded in unshakable values. Now that's resilience, right? If you found something valuable in these lessons, maybe a new perspective or a reminder of your own priorities, consider sharing your thoughts below. What resonated most? Which lesson are you working on yourself? Drop a comment and let's keep the conversation going. This is a journey best traveled together. And hey, if this content spoke to you, there's so much more to explore. Tap that subscribe button for regular insights that keep you inspired and focused on what truly matters. Life can pull us in 1,000 directions, but with a little wisdom, we can stay true to what's essential. So stick around and let's build that Stoic resilience together, one lesson at a time.